Go down. Okay. Okay. So, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have been asked to attempt a question, right? It is. How is it? Yes. Income, poverty, and social exclusion are inextricably interlinked with one another in India, and explain the following statement with suitable examples. Okay. So you have to write about how poverty and social exclusion are related or closely linked, especially in Indian context. Just a moment. Yes. So, yeah, usually what we understand by poverty is simply that it is not always connected to the social processes. Okay, गरीबी के लिए सामाजिक संस्था या सामाजिक प्रोसेसेस ये डिटरमिन करके ऐसा पहले कोई स्टडी नहीं हुआ था, लेकिन
विशाल सर,
हाँ
सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट, थोड़ा डिस्टर्बेंस है सर.
हाँ समझ Is it from my side or what?
Let me check, sir. एक minute.
Some Suraj. No, Suraj, no. Mute everyone and then only unmute me. You can do that.
Yes, yes. Now good to go, sir.
So fine. Yeah. So how do we establish a relationship or a link between poverty and social exclusion? So before doing that, we need to understand what is poverty and how it leads to social exclusion of some communities, a particular community who are like materially deprived and alienated from the basic services like basic fundamental needs in our life or a human being requires, that is food, clothes, and shelter. Okay. So how do we conceive the poverty? इंडिया में गरीबी की भाषा कैसी है? Okay. So Indian, can we no, next slide. Yeah. So roughly or generally, poverty can be defined as a material deprivation of individual characterized by inability to feed oneself. So this is an immediate definition. एक मटेरियल डेप्रीवेशन जो होता है, जो जो चीजें इंसान को, कोई इंडिविजुअल को, ह्यूमन बीइंग को जीने के लिए लगती है, टू इन ऑर्डर टू बी अलाइव. ओके, that is, food is the basic needs that human being have to fulfill, and to buy that food, to access that food, one needs to have a particular amount of income, or the person should be provided with some minimum amount of food so that he can or she can live, she can survive. Okay. So general definition of poverty is like a material deprivation. So does it meaning they are not able to have an income level, they are not able to make the money that is required for them to purchase basic commodities or necessities like food, clothes, and shelter. Okay. जो मूलभूत जरूरतें होती है, वो जो इंसान या जो सोशल ग्रुप भी नहीं कर पाता, उनका इनकम लेवल उतना नहीं है, उनको usually we call them as a people, poor people or people under poverty. Okay, so this is an what you call very basic definition, but there has been a lot of development in understanding the poverty from different perspectives or from a multidisciplinary lens और multi dimensions. इसके poverty के अलग अलग dimension क्या हो सकते हैं, इसके ऊपर बहुत सारा लिटरेचर एंड स्टडीज अभी हुए हैं. ओके, तो इंडिया में एक पावर्टी का एक डिबेट रहा है जहाँ पे हाउ मेनी कैलोरीज वी नीड एवरी डे टू सर्वाइव. ओके, how much of calories we need every day to survive, and based on that the poverty was calculated in India. Okay, so broadened definition of poverty includes like one should not limit the existence of human being or the quality of human being, quality of life of the human being only to basic necessities like food, clothes, and shelter, but some other important necessities like education, okay, ability to participate, okay, in the society affairs, okay, and also quality of your life in terms of whether you are able to express your opinion freely or not. Okay, so this there has been an extended definition of poverty. Okay, so that we need to understand, and Amartya Sen has provided or has considered the extended or broader definition of poverty that includes if a person is feeling powerlessness. Okay, if a person is feeling powerless as a result of many reasons or peculiar reasons like political anarchy or social reasons. Okay, they are socially alienated or what you call reduced. Okay, some different traditions are there. Okay. So that is also considered as an extended definition of poverty. Can we go to the next slide? What you are required to do here, so you explain the poverty first, okay, and there are usually poverty can be seen in two ways or two approach. What is an absolute poverty? So what is absolute poverty? Is a condition where household income is below necessary level to maintain basic living standards. Okay, so in absolute poverty, you are at in an extreme state of deprivation wherein you are not able to maintain your basic sustenance. Okay, so the basic sustenance needs like food, shelters, you cannot afford it. You do not have that level of income so that you can purchase these commodities which you require. Okay, so that is called absolute poor. Okay, and then we have in plenty considerable proportion of population in India who lives under absolute poverty because don't have home, they sleep on the roads, they don't have housing. Okay, they don't have regular access to food, have to struggle every day for to secure their food. Some they end up begging. Okay, all these reality are there. Then second nature of poverty is relative poverty. What is relative poverty? It is a condition where household income is certain percentage below median income. So in such type of poverty, although you are not poor, I mean like you are able to meet the basic needs like food, clothes, and shelter, and having a decent amount, not decent, if decent, not decent, some minimum amount of income to be able to purchase these commodities. Okay, food, clothes, and shelter, fundamental needs. But if earthquake happens or if any sort of emergency comes and it hits you, your income may go down. Okay, so you may become a poor. For example, many people have lost their homes in the recent floods in, let's say, what you call Konkan in Maharashtra, or sudden accident or sudden shock, income shock. You lost your job, and then you are not able to meet your basic requirements and feed your family. Okay, that sudden accident may result in making you poor or pushing into a poverty. Because of COVID also, many people were left unemployed. Okay, You may have seen all these things. So they are also considered as a relative poor, because their state of being poor is very close to the absolute poverty. Okay, so they may be they may get poor, or they may become poor if they face any shock, or hit by any shock, income shock more mainly, or for example violence also. Okay, if let's say uh, we have a caste violence in India. Sometimes a whole Dalit community is boycotted from the village, so they have to rely on, or they are deprived of the basic facilities. So they have to fend themselves on like a public mercy. They have to migrate to the cities and all. Okay, so this is considered as an element determinants of relative power. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So basic approach, I won't go so much. I won't go into the detail, but this is for you to know. So how the poverty, the concept of poverty is defined. So we have this basic need approach. Okay. So what is basic need approach? It calculates a calorie, that how much calorie you need in order to survive in rural and urban areas. So India may in urban areas you need 2100 calories, and in rural areas you need 2400 calories to survive. और ये कैलोरीज जो आपको मिलेगा वो आपको खरीदने के लिए जितना पैसा लगेगा, that was defined as a poverty line. Okay, so every day you need to consume 2400 calories in rural area, because in rural area the amount of labor, or the nature of labor and physical activity that one has to undertake or perform is relatively intense than what we do in urban area. So the more you work, the higher is the calorie you need. Okay, so this is the historical kind of overview that based on 1973 and 74 consumer behavior data. So how do we measure it then? We take into consideration the price level of the country. Okay, so what is the price, average price level of the country, and that is taken into consideration, and based on that poverty line is defined. So to buy ये 2400 कैलोरीज खरीदने के लिए आपको कितने पैसे की जरूरत है, वो पैसा how much money you need, that is defined as a poverty line. Okay, next slide please. Yes, so this has been our progress. Okay, many governments and establishments that came to power have claimed that they have in a way attempted to reduce poverty. Okay, curb the poverty. So you can see the numbers from 1983 to 2004, 5 onwards. The percentage of people below poverty have actually declined. Okay, it has come from 45% in 1983 to 28% in 2005 in rural area. Okay, and urban area it has come from 42% to 25% in 2004-5. So this is a little old data, but we don't have data after this, and currently we don't even have data. So there were many committees appointed. Suresh Tendulkar committee was appointed, and there is a history behind that. So we don't need to get into details for this. Okay. Uh, Next slide, please. Yes, this is all figure again. Okay, so yeah, go to the next slide. Yeah. So there was a Tendulkar committee. What Tendulkar committee did, they reviewed the definition of poverty from just an which was like earlier the basic need approach. Food, clothes, shelter was only considered, was the only element or factors considered to measure the poverty in India. Okay, so Tendulkar committee reviewed this methodology and broadened the definition, and also included health and education and entertainment as a part of measuring poverty line in India. Okay, so they abandoned the calorie norm, because only a person cannot live a quality life only by eating good food. Okay, they also need such important avenues like important access to education, better health, okay, and also entertainment. So all these aspects were included in the poverty line by Tendulkar committee. Okay, so they abandoned the calorie norm, and then how much you need, how much money you need to buy education, to get access to health, to get access to food. It was calculated, and then the number of proportion of poverty was decided. Okay, can we go to the next slide? Hmm. So using this method, in India, poverty line was slightly updated. So the person whose monthly income was 446 in rural areas and 576 in uh, urban area. Sorry, it means urban area there. They were considered as a person, family, or a person having income below this marker was considered as an poor. Okay, so according to this, 41 percentage population was poor and 25 percentage population was poor. Okay, so now while understanding the poverty, we need to understand the how income is spent. Okay, how income is spent by an individual whenever he or she is making a money. So most of the income in the lives of poor is spent on the food. Okay, so there is a research that says that 60% of the earnings of individual are spent on food. Okay, mostly poor people. Okay, so for other requirements such as education, health, and entertainment, even house, they have limited income to spend. Okay, so that is why an multi-dimensional approach to poverty is required, and that is why the question that whether if you are a poor, आपकी गरीबी आपका social exclusion में result करती है, that we need to see, especially in the Indian context, where caste plays a very crucial role in terms of deciding the opportunities that you have access to, both material opportunities and also non-material opportunities, such as whether you have an freedom to speak, whether you have a freedom to be recognized as a dignified person, that we need to consider. Okay, so that is an extended definition of poverty. Okay, powerlessness should be considered also. So let's look at the numbers. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, this is next slide, please. Yeah, so here is also data. I am first giving you a conceptual understanding of the power, some numbers about it, because you are required to write answers that how many people are poor in India. And the second question is who they are, and are they socially excluded? That is the third part. Okay, so you go on explaining the poverty first, and then how many percentage of people that we have are poor in India, and then you argue how this percentage of people who are living in poverty are also socially excluded. Okay, how it is linked to social exclusion. So according to 2012 NSS survey, poorest of the poor survive on only just 70 rupees per day, which is very difficult, which is unrealistic data. Okay, but this is the fact. It came to notice after NSSO survey. Okay, 5%. Look at the income poverty and inequalities that we have in India. 5% population on the bottom had an average monthly per capita expenditure. So what is monthly per capita expenditure? We have this measurement in India. क्योंकि poverty measure करना it's very tricky thing, because people don't report their income. हर कोई इंसान उसका सच्चा इनकम बताता नहीं है. So they may always want to project themselves as a poor, even if they are able to meet their basic needs. Okay, So there is another way to calculate or measure the poverty, which is called monthly per capita expenditure. आप महीने में कितना खर्चा करते हो? Okay. So, and then based on that, you can actually understand what is poverty or what is the extent of poverty that you have in it. So NSSO conducts the survey जहाँ पे लोग अराउंड 2 to 3 लाख सैंपल होता है, तो लोगों को पूछते हैं कि महीने भर में आपने कौन से चीजों पे खर्चा किया और टोटल खर्चा कितना हुआ. Then we can estimate their income based on that. Okay, so 5% of the bottom population, okay, had an average per monthly per capita income of 521 in rural areas, okay, and 700 in urban areas. Can we stop? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, now you're audible.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So this was the figure according to NSSO 2012 survey. Okay. So do you think 500 rupees is enough to live in India monthly? No, not necessarily. No, it's very bad figure. Like, at least you need some 1,000 rupees to survive meaningfully. Can you live with 700 rupees monthly income in urban areas, especially city like Mumbai? It's very difficult. You end up paying 1,000 rupees rent even if you are a student. So these numbers are distorted. Okay, these numbers are not calculated properly. There is a politics around it, okay, because they all want to show the fact that we have large number of poor population in India. Okay. Yes. So can we go to the next slide? Yes. Yeah, go to the next slide. This is again data. Yeah. Now let me uh, take you to the important aspect that you have been asked to comment on. So let's understand how poverty is socially related in India. So what you see on the screen is an monthly expenditure by households. Okay. And normally household comprises of 45 people. Okay. So based on that, you can measure the character of poverty in India. Okay. And then how it leads to social exclusion. So you can see as compared to upper caste, the numbers are given. So in rural area, scheduled tribes spend less than 53% than what upper caste consume. Okay, so if upper caste are, let's say, consuming 100 rupees, scheduled tribes are only able to consume 53 rupees in rural areas. Okay, and for scheduled caste, it is even lower. Okay, 37%. Okay, and which was, you can see, little higher in the earlier period. So what we have done bad. It should have improved, right? It should have actually improved well. We have done bad. Same is the case with urban areas. So scheduled caste spends 60% lesser than what upper caste spends. Okay, so if upper caste is spending, let's say, 100 rupees, what you call scheduled caste spends only 40% of their should spend only 40% in urban areas, and it is the case with in case of ST it is 48%. Okay, and OBC is also given there. Okay, so OBCs are relatively well in doing well in rural areas, but in urban areas they are equally close to what you call it, STs and STs especially. Okay, so OBCs also spends 43% lesser than what upper caste spends. Okay, so in this way you can show that compared to what we can draw, what inference we can draw from this table, that there is a social character of poverty in India. You can also put this graph in your answers, and that will make more sense and explain this. Okay, that how poverty is socially rooted in India. Okay, and how it produces income inequalities along the caste line or its social lines, and then eventually perpetuate the social discrimination that one has to pay, and also compromises the quality of life. For example, better health, because income determines your quality of life and access to the basic requirements that you need. If you don't have any income, then proper income or a good income, then you are not able to what you call purchase things that is required to live a dignityful life. Okay, can we go to the next slide? Is there a question on this? If anybody has a question on this, we can address now on this table, because if you want to explain it in your answer, you should explain it properly. So this table basically shows you who is poor. Okay, who is poor in India, and who are more poor. Okay, that does not mean upper caste are not poor. They are poor, but their numbers are lesser than what others have compared to others. Okay, so this is the huge amount of inequalities. Why do we have poverty in India? So our 1% of the richest population or 50% of the total wealth in India. Okay, so because of this huge extreme inequalities, income inequalities, we have this situation in India. Okay, total 84 billionaires wealth comes about 248 $1 billion. Okay, so this is the income inequalities I am showing you. Okay, 57 billionaires का wealth जो है वो इंडिया के बॉटम 70% का टोटल एसेट के बराबर है. मतलब भारत में 57 लोग जो अमीर है, अरबोपति है, वो इंडिया के बॉटम 70% के बराबर का प्रॉपर्टी ओन करते हैं. ओके, दे हैव ह्यूज control over the wealth and income in India. Okay, now let's go to the next slide. Next slide. Yeah, this is another aspect of another very important aspect of poverty, which is connected to social exclusion. Okay, so you can also use this table in your answer, that how poverty has a social character and leads to social exclusion from India of particular community. So this is a paper by Nitin Bharti, who is a brilliant economist in Paris School of Economics, and he has taken this consumption expenditure data only. Okay, so the population is divided into quintiles, 2020. You can see the 5 column, and bottom 20% is poorer 20, middle 20, richer and richest. Okay, so if you can analyze the table, you can notice that among STs and STs are the most poor people in India. Okay, so if you calculate poorest and poorer, scheduled tribes comes about 75% around. So 75% of the scheduled tribe population are poor in India, and very tiny of them are rich. Okay, around 5% and all. Okay, similar is the case with scheduled caste, where you can see around 50% of the scheduled caste population are poor. Okay, if you calculate the first and second column, you can see that around 50%. Can you give me an axis? Can I draw this? Hello?
Sorry, sir, I missed you.
My mouse is visible here.
No, it is not.
Can you give me an axis so that I will mark here? So I will have to share the picture or what?
Yeah, you have to do that. Where should I point, sir?
You can point at scheduled caste, poorest and poorer, 28% to 24%.
28 है, yeah.
So if you calculate both these figures, scheduled caste will come around 50% of the total population as in poor. Okay, and of course there is rich among them, but the proportion is very less. Now come to OBC, also same, around 45% of the OBC population are poor. Okay, but if you come to, and traditionally upper caste in India, let's say for example Brahmin, Rajput, Banya caste, and forward caste, there a very tiny proportion of the population among these communities are poor. And if you look at the rich people in these categories, you can see that 49 percentage, 49, around 50% of the Brahmins are rich, and richer also 20. So 70% Brahmin people are almost very rich. Similar is the case with Rajput. 50% of them are, more than 50% of them are richer, and middle income categories also. And Kayastha, Banya is also same, because they are the people who have traditionally owned the business, operated the business, and control the capital in India, and leaving other rest of the population into marginalized situation or materially deprived situation. Okay, because your poverty depends on your social location in India. So this is how you can argue. You can use this table, the earlier one and other, this one also, to argue that poverty in India is of course closely linked to the social structure and has produced a huge amount of inequalities and deprivation caused by lower income living. So now how poverty leads to an social exclusion? Because if you do not have a minimum level of income, you are not able to secure or get good quality education, better health, better living standards. Okay, you are not able to live longer because the basic income that you need, or decent income level that you need to have, is not available to you. So you may die early because of the poor quality of health services that you get. You may die, let's say at the age of 65, what is India's average age. You may not live longer. So this is how you can connect your answers to poverty, answer of poverty to social exclusion. Okay, and it becomes worst in case of women, because women are already subordinated and subjugated in the patriarchal structure, and then they have to face multi-layer discrimination as a result of caste, as a result of gender, and as a result of class also. Okay, जब तुम गरीब होते हो तो वो तुम्हारा क्लास होता है, तुम जब स्त्री होते हो तुम्हारा जेंडर होता है, और जब तुम लोअर कास्ट होते हो तुम्हारा कास्ट होता है. So this triple burden of discrimination is carried by women, and then they are forced into an extreme level of deprivation, which eventually affects their health. By patriarchal norms, women are supposed to eat at the end, or after family eats, and that is how our mothers are, what you call, um, they are praised for that. Okay, the sacrificing nature of our mother are celebrated in such a way that uh, it is given the notion of love. But sometimes it should be also look at practically that why our mother eats, हमारी मम्मी आखिर में क्यों खाती है, because she wants to make sure that other members in the family are eating better. Okay, so that they don't lose out anything, they don't remain impoverished. Okay, so to argue, to sum up, power, we have in poverty in India, but poverty leads to multiple social exclusion, especially if you have a structures that are hierarchical. Okay, and what hierarchy we have? We have a caste hierarchy in India, which determines your access to income, your access to business, your access to employment. For example, some professions are taken over by only Dalit people, cleaning work. Okay, they receive very short, small amount of income doing that job. Okay, and after that they also face. Okay, so because of not having income, they are not able to access the good education or good services. Okay, and then eventually resulting into social exclusion. Okay, Because what is social inclusion? When you are having a meaningful social interactions within the community that you are living in, and that community, you need some basic minimum decent income income source for that, in order to be able to live, what you call, participate in the societal affairs, right? हमारे को सोसाइटल अफेयर्स में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए एक मीनिंगफुल इनकम होना चाहिए, डिसेंट इनकम लेवल होना चाहिए, otherwise it leads to a social exclusion. For example, more number of tribals are poor because they do not have any access to resources. Okay, even they have to rely heavily on the forest. They do not have any employment opportunity, proper better employment opportunities and income support. So they continue to live in an impoverishment that is characterized by lack of food, lack of nutritional food. जब nutritional food नहीं आता है तो then they fall ill, there is a malnutrition, and then they need proper health care, which is also not available to them. So that is why this social structure determines your access, determines your economic prospectus also. Okay, your material prospectus also. For example, in case of scheduled caste, a person is poor not because of the choice, but also because they don't have a land to cultivate. They don't have jobs to work out. Probably upper caste may not always want to hire them, or sometimes the whole community is boycotted. Okay, so they have to migrate to the cities in search of job opportunities, and then live in the slums. Okay, and in a conditions where in a conditions that are characterized by not higher quality standard, at least decent living standards. Okay, which is normally a requirement. Okay. Yeah, this table, anybody has any clarity, needs clarity? Okay, can we go to the next slide? Is there a next slide? Yeah. So yeah, this also you can put the graph. Since you are required to made up your answers, you can use these graphs. Okay, so you can see the well-being levels of individuals based on their social location. So if you are an ST, you are most likely to be poor. Okay, if you are an SC, ST, you are most likely to be poor. While if you are an upper caste or other upper caste Hindus, you are less likely to be poor and more likely to be richest. Okay, you can see the level of well-being based on caste in India. Okay. Next. Yes. In case of Muslims also.
I guess this is the last.
Yes.
This is the last slide, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. And can you show the image I sent you?
Yeah.
This is the very recent report, by the way. Just display it on the screen. Yeah. So this is the very recent report by UNDP. It's called multidimensional as poverty, and they have considered the caste first time in their report. Okay, so they have in a way measured that who is most likely to be poor or fall into the poverty. Okay, so you can see that scheduled tribe are most likely to fall into poverty after COVID. This is after COVID, by the way. Okay. Scheduled caste comes second, then other backward caste comes third, and none of the above, and no caste. Okay, so this is the caste wise poverty, what you call multi-dimensional poverty. Okay, so this is not only about like they have lesser income, but they also need to have other facilities like quality education, health, entertainment, even the quality of political participation. because you may have seen that Dalit women are not allowed to sit on the chair only because they are Dalits, despite becoming or despite being elected as a village head. Okay, so these are the features that sometimes holds you back or determines your prospects. Okay, from participating into a society, which eventually results into social exchange. So sometimes it is not always an income. You can also refute the claim. Okay, you can also, in a way, critically argue that it is income is one of the indicator or one of the determinant of social exclusion, but it is not the only determinant of social exclusion. Okay, it is sometimes in Indian context it is caste, because a rich scheduled caste person is also faced with caste discrimination, right? So social exclusion cannot be reduced to your income in India or poverty in India. Your caste also matters a lot. Your social location also matters a lot. Your religion also matters a lot. A Muslim person may be lynched despite having a good amount of income. So these are the some of the things that I wanted to discuss today. If you have any questions, we can discuss about it. Any questions?